Welcome back, race fans, and also YouTube fans and Kickstarter participants. Today we're going to talk about a new concept car for lifelike HO racing. This car has its origins in the Viper Scale Racing V1 project from almost 2 years ago. Part of the development process with that project is you need to do a proof of concept model for your chassis before you start cutting steel for the injection mold. And if you remember photographs and different things on the website of that particular chassis, it's good for taking all your hard parts and fitting into it and actually running the car around the track and making sure everything works. Once that's done and approved, then you have a injection mold made and you have a high impact flexible part made out of nylon with some additional elements added into it. The problem with the three-dimensional material, to get certain things you give up certain things. You need to have a lot of resolution, which means a very fine printing layer so you don't have a big glob of plastic so the parts fit real good. If you want it flexible, it may not be very impact resistant. If you want it to be impact resistant, it may not be flexible. So you have to balance those two things out. Right. We decided if we wanted to introduce a new lifelike chassis, it had to have good performance and have a lot of different attributes that would make it attractive to a lot of different customers. So we've done some basic engineering and printed some three-dimensional chassis and done our part fitment and actually have running cars. This particular car is running our Tomy Super G Plus hard body clip, which allows you to run just about any body that fits on a AFX, Magnet Traction, Super G Plus, some of the Auto World X tractions. The problem with this particular material is it doesn't have a lot of beam stiffness. And as the motor warms, the material warms up and begins to kind of sag a little bit, but it does have a lot of impact strength. In the process of trying to get rid of the sag, we printed some stuff in a harder material which has great beam stiffness. It's not temperature sensitive at all, it seems like, but it's prone to cracking. There's a clip that you put on that holds the magnet and the motor in, and if that's not done exactly right, it'll break, unlike a clip that you would use on the injection molded part that's very, very flexible and locks into place. So there's a couple things to have to balance in here, but anyway, this is what we have here, and we'll take this upstairs in a few minutes and run it around on the track and let you see what it does. But to kind of continue discussion on the concept, we see that we have a chassis with a Tomy Super G Plus clip. We have a clip designed and in the works, and this can actually currently be purchased off of Shapeways, and you can fit a Tyco hard body. On the car. And of course, since we're lifelike, we have a lifelike clip. And let's see if it'll fit on this old school Ferrari. Yep, there we go. There you go. So there you go. It's an old, I guess it's an old Ferrari Daytona back from the Miami Vice days. I think they put that body in a set with a I can't think of the other ones, a hot rod or something, that the Crockett and Tubbs Miami Vice set. And anyway, that's a body that's left over from that deal. But anyway, it works pretty good. So we have one chassis that can run 3 different body clips, and if you really had a mind to, there would be places that you can screw in aluminum body post and run a Lexan body. So it's a very flexible chassis. Because it's a can motor with replaceable traction magnets, the chassis is scalable in terms of performance. The basic car as we have it set up has a 6 ohm motor, ceramic motor magnets, and level 10 traction magnets. And if you want, you could put a lower ohm motor. This particular mock-up has a 4 ohm armature in it and cobalt traction magnets, just to kind of test the idea and see how fast you can run the car with a hard body. So that's the overview. We will get a track set up here in a little bit and make some laps. Alright, we have set up our Daytona tri-oval. We're going to run a couple of cars here and let you see kind of the difference of it. This particular car right here, this is going to be a box stock car right out of the package. This is an old T chassis. Here we have a stock T chassis. We've added some better rear tires. And this is our proof of concept car. And the one that's got the 4 ohm motor and the cobalt traction magnets. Alright, so we don't get much speed and it comes off. Let's try it again. Yep, there we go. Alright, so we'll put a little better tire on the same chassis, basically. Pretty good, but it still has some limits. Alright, that one you can actually drive and have some trigger inputs and actually give it throttle in the straightaways. So that's, I think, a pretty good formula. It could stand to be tweaked a little bit, but I think it's basically there. And then our hopped up version that has a lot of downforce. Alright, that one you can about just hold the trigger down in one place and run the car. You don't have enough voltage or amperage with the factory power supply to really get these cars moving. So it's not really any challenge on a track like this. But the basic formula that we have here seems to do pretty good. A lot better than the older T car in terms of the ability to drive it. Okay, wrap this up here. Alright, the old T-chassis is a good car. There's nothing really inherently wrong with it, but it is essentially a single platform car. It's not scalable to any reasonable amount. You can't affix any other bodies and lifelike on it. You're stuck with the motor that's in it. About all you can do is change the rear axle if you want, maybe change the traction magnets to suit yourself, but other than that, it's a pretty straightforward car, and even out of the box with a set of rear tires, it'll do pretty good. But the new concept car, the way it's designed, is quite scalable with a series of hard body clips. You can mount a number of different major brand bodies on it, and with the modular design of the motor and the traction magnets, those are fairly standard parts, so it'd be very easy to come up with different formulas for it for different applications. So we're real excited about it, and that's what we want to do moving forward, is try to get this project off the ground, and your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.